I've got this bathroom cabinet I've been working on, and I need to attach this little towel rack component to the bottom of it. It's a great application for biscuit joinery, and it's an opportunity for me to show you a couple of different ways you can use a biscuit joiner. Make sure you understand the two different applications. It boils down to registering from the top or registering from the bottom. In this case, I'm going to register from the top of this piece. What I want to do is get this part fastened here, just like this. Great choice for biscuit joiners because I basically got just a butt joint here, and I want to reinforce that joint with the biscuits. Plus the biscuits will give me good registration to make sure these parts stay in alignment. So the first step is easy. All I need to do is get my part held on here, and I'm going to lay out for 3 biscuit slots. One of the things I really like about biscuit joinery is that you don't have to be real precise on the joint locations because there's some wiggle room laterally like this. Cuts you a lot of slack. The biscuit joiner is set to cut a slot approximately in the center of my 3/4 inch material. The way that's going to work is by allowing the fence of the biscuit joiner to rest on the top of the material, and then the weight of the biscuit joiner just suspends off of there, just like that. At this point, I'm about ready to cut my slot. I just want to look here, make sure that the center line on the biscuit joiner itself is aligned with the registration line that I put on my material. So once I've got my biscuit joiner draped on here and my center is good, then I'm ready to cut. Now, with a biscuit joiner in each slot, we can see how this came out. Perfect. Now, like I said, there's a lot of, look at the lateral wiggle room that I have this way. So that's why your pencil lines don't have to be absolutely perfectly located. What this does, if you look here across the end, it provided perfect registration across these surfaces, because the fence was resting on this one when I made that cut, then it was resting on this one when I made that cut. So the thing to keep in mind with this setup is that it's all about the distance from the top surface down to the biscuit slot. The next setup we do is going to be a little bit different. An application here would be, let's say I want to put a shelf right in the center of an upright, like in a bookcase or something like that, and I want to put those together with biscuits. So I've got another butt joint. Biscuits are going to do a great job of reinforcing it, but what I need is a way that I can get those biscuits cut, the biscuit slots cut, into this piece and this piece so that my registration stays the same. Obviously, if I keep the fence on here, I'm going to have a really hard time cutting slots into the face of this piece. So this whole approach is a little bit different. I've got registration marks on this piece that shows me the bottom of the shelf that I want to put on. Onto those registration marks, I put a cleat spanning from mark to mark, and then I need to clamp that down. Then I'm going to give myself, on this one it's quite narrow, I'm going to just locate 2 biscuit slots on here. Now in this case, I don't want to use the fence at all, so I'm going to pop this component off. And fold the fence up so it's out of the way altogether. On most biscuit joiners, including this one, the distance from the bottom of the machine to the center of the slot is 3/8 of an inch, because manufacturers have a pretty good idea that you're going to use it in the way we're about to here. So what I do is rest the biscuit joiner now vertically on my piece. What I've got here is a registration slot, once again showing me the center of where the biscuit slot is going to be cut. I put that onto my pencil mark, bottom of the biscuit joiner against my cleat, ready to make a cut. Now what I want to do is remove this, and I'm simply going to transfer these layout lines to my shelf piece. Now the thing to keep in mind here to be really accurate with this is to remember that in this application I registered from the bottom up. So in this application I also need to register from the bottom up. Very easy to do. All I have to do is lay my shelf on a nice flat surface with its bottom face down, bring my biscuit joiner over, align the registration point here with my pencil line. So what we've done here is we've created an equidistant spacing, bottom up to slot, in both sets of slots here. So that I can perfectly locate my shelf right on those registration points I started with. So 2 different ways to use the biscuit joiner, just depending on the job that you're doing, but just remember to think of it as registration from the top surface down or from the bottom surface up. Make sure you do it the same way on all the pieces in the project so your alignment comes out well.